Hello everyone. Today you're going to learn all about the Nikon Black RangeX 4K laser rangefinder. I'm John McAdams, founder of the Big Game Hunting blog, and over the years I've purchased more laser rangefinders than I care to admit. While some were better than others, they all left me unsatisfied in one way or another. That all changed with the Black RangeX 4K. It's hands down the best laser rangefinder I've ever used, and I'm going to show you why. This is one of Nikon's newest laser rangefinders, incorporates some of the most cutting-edge technology you'll find in a laser rangefinder these days. The good folks at Ochocs Outdoors recently sent me one to evaluate, and I spent the last couple months testing it out. In this video, I'm going to share what I learned from testing out the Nikon Black RangeX 4K laser rangefinder and show you why it's such an essential piece of hunting gear. First off, it has a really long effective range. Now, just like the name would suggest, the Nikon Black RangeX 4K laser rangefinder has a maximum effective range of 4,000 yards for a reflective surface. According to the manual, it has a maximum measurement distance of 1,700 yards for a tree and 1,500 yards for a deer. Now, that's a pretty impressive claim by Nikon, but can this rangefinder actually measure the distance to targets over 2 miles away with any kind of accuracy? In short, the answer is yes. Now, I've tested this rangefinder pretty extensively in the mountains near where I live. Lots of bright sunshine, low humidity, and blustery winds all combined for pretty challenging conditions for a laser rangefinder. Even so, I was still able to successfully range individual cows out to around 2,300 yards, a water tank at 3,458 yards, a car at 3,874 yards, and a building at an astounding 3,921 yards. I compared several of these long-range measurements obtained with the laser rangefinder to those that I obtained using my GPS, and the results matched up almost perfectly. That sort of performance alone puts the Nikon Black RangeX 4K laser rangefinder in a league of its own, completely separate from almost any other laser rangefinder you're going to find. But that's far from the only awesome feature on this rangefinder. Now, this rangefinder also has a feature called first versus last target priority. Well, what is that? Here's an example. When the U.S. Army adopted the M1 Abrams tank in 1980, it had a state-of-the-art fire control system. Among other things, the gunner had the ability to switch between first return and last return on the laser rangefinder. Well, why do we care about this? Well, this rangefinder has a similar feature. What used to be cutting-edge technology that cost tens of thousands of dollars now fits into a handheld laser rangefinder that costs less than $500. Nikon calls it true target technology, but the idea is the same as the feature I just described on the Abrams tank. Basically, this allows the user to switch back and forth between first and last target priority depending upon prevailing conditions as well as the sort of target in question. Are you trying to range a small object that doesn't have anything else close behind it? In that case, use first target priority. This will help you measure the distance to that object without getting false returns from something else several hundred yards or more downrange. What if you're trying to measure the distance to a target at longer range, or maybe something that has some vegetation or other objects in front of it? The last target priority is ideal for all of these situations. In each case, with just a couple presses of a button, this great feature on the Nikon Black RangeX 4K laser rangefinder allows the user to get the best possible measurements to a wide variety of targets under many different conditions. Do you bow hunt from a tree stand or take shots at extreme angles, uphill or downhill? If so, then taking advantage of angle compensating technology will really make it easier for you to calculate the true ballistic range to your target. It all depends on the range and angle that you're dealing with. It's more important at longer ranges and or larger angles, but failing to calculate the true ballistic range can easily be the difference between a hit and a miss. Fortunately, the Nikon Black RangeX 4K laser rangefinder incorporates Nikon's incline-decline technology that rapidly and accurately calculates the horizontal distance to the target at virtually any angle. Like the first versus last target priority, this is a feature you can easily turn on and off with the Black RangeX rangefinder. These photos show the difference between the straight line range on the left and the true ballistic range on the right to a distant hilltop at about a 13-degree angle. Now, I'm also really impressed at how quickly the Nikon Black RangeX 4K laser rangefinder measures the distance to targets. Even when ranging a target really far away or at an extreme angle, it calculates and displays the distance almost immediately. I compared the Black RangeX 4K to my Leupold RX850i laser rangefinder. I'll just say the Nikon rangefinder absolutely left the Leupold in the dust, and there was no comparison between the two. All of the other laser rangefinders I've used in the past have had a dim and difficult to read display. In fact, this has been one of my biggest complaints with laser rangefinders in general. After all, what good is a rangefinder if I can't read the range it measured for me? However, that's not a problem with the Nikon Black RangeX 4K Laser Rangefinder, and it has by far the brightest and easiest to read display I've ever used. It also offers users the ability to adjust the brightness of the internal display so you can set it up perfectly regardless of whether you're hunting in dark timber at the crack of dawn or at noon on a sunny day. It's also waterproof, durable, and easy to use. Though I wouldn't dunk it in water or anything, the Nikon Black RangeX 4K is indeed waterproof, so you can use it in the rain or in high humidity conditions without worry. You know how some optics just feel fragile in your hands? Well, that's not the case with the Black RangeX 4K. This rangefinder feels very rugged and well built. It's also really easy to use. Just press the power on button once to turn the rangefinder on, line up the target in your crosshair, and then hit the same button again to measure the distance to the target. Now here's the real kicker. The Nikon Black RangeX 4K Laser Rangefinder has an MSRP of just $449.95. Considering all the advanced features they managed to fit into this rangefinder, that's an incredibly low price. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just hit the red subscribe button below to make sure you don't miss out on any future videos on hunting gear reviews, strategies, and more. For more detailed information on the Nikon Black RangeX 4K Laser Rangefinder, click on the link in the video description below to read the blog post that I wrote about it. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to you guys. What laser rangefinder do you currently use, and what is the furthest target you've been able to successfully range with it? Anybody gotten anything that can compare to the 3,921 yards I got with the Black RangeX 4K? Let me know by leaving a comment on this video right now. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.